Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We're going to continue back onto our chain from a detour of a very long-winded explanation of one of the best-known contemporary Chinese poem, 在别康桥 yesterday. So we are back to what we are left off from this 我挥一挥衣袖，不带走一片云彩. Right? That's the last stanza from the poem. And we're going to continue with 袖, 长袖善舞. So from today on, I find a better way to present the information here by including all four characters, even if like 袖, you've seen this before, I still put everything in here just in case this is your first time coming to the show. Okay, 长. Can you kind of visualize what that is? We know this is kind of stick figure, that's Chinese person symbol, commonly used, but sometimes transformed, like bended a little bit or curved with the hips, you know, like a woman image, or sometimes like a bended, like a walking like this way. Very interesting variations of the expression. So this is an expression of a person with two legs at least, right? And then this is a portion where the hair is dramatically spreading out in the wind, almost like horizontally flying out. So that's actually the symbol of hair. And that's the symbol of somebody who has long hair and pretty dense, dramatic hair flow, right? So the concept of 长 means long, comes from the length of the hair. So that's the long hair expression because, okay, in ancient times, probably the hairdressing, the hairdos are a little bit different from contemporary. Like my hairdo is unimaginable in ancient times because how can a woman cut her hair short? It's unimaginable. And even for men back then, hair cutting, like cut your hair short, it's not a common thing to do at all. Mostly in ancient times, people keep their hair. Probably there's no hairdresser profession back then at all. But people keep however long it grows and then roll it up, like for men, for functionality, roll it up, put it in a man bun, right? Like contemporary. So that's for men, but for women, they have kind of elaborate hairdos that's done by their maid, their servant. There's no professional hairdresser, but they have a, whole crew to make them look good every day, right? Personal hairdresser. So that's how people dealt with their hair back then. And the length of hair, the volume, I guess, also kind of differentiate oneself from another. So 长 came from the hair. 袖, we talked about before, the hat, the cone-shaped hat is your personal mobile, portable, carried on your head. Umbrella, right? It's hands-free. It's really a smart invention for people working in the farms, right? They're before the time of sunscreen. That's the device to physically shield you off the sunburn. And then you have this collar. So that's the clothing reference. And then we have this hand reaching out to a plant. A 3-finger hand reaching out to a plant. And that shows, okay, that's the end of your clothing. That's what's going to show. So the portion of clothing at the end of it that shows the hand, it's your sleeve. So it's a little bit, thinking, inferring over there. 善. This came from the sheep image, and Chinese depict sheep in a very cute way. 2 horns, right? Kind of veg, like this way, and 3 rows, 3 horizontal lines, kind of like a fluffy, the hair of the sheep, fluffy horizontally, make it really obvious. Like, okay, you have a lot of hair. So that's our sheep representation. And then at the bottom, symmetrically on 2 sides of this long-legged, single-legged standing sheep, there are 2 characters that means talking. Means words, actually, verbalization, that came from okay, this smiley face, up tilted corners of mouth, and then the pointer of toward the mouth, and some shape that looks like this. That means the tongue. So you have the tongue there indicator, which came from the mouth. So you have mouth and tongue together, and you have the sound waves. That's my interpretation here. The long horizontal line stacked with a shorter horizontal line, that's the sound waves coming from your mouth and your tongue, making, complicated speech pronunciations, and then have the waves going further away. So that's the way of communication, right? Through the air, airborne, and this mouth-based communication. So that's our verbalization concept. And you have two verbalizations evenly. So the whole character is symmetrical. A lot of times you see Chinese are not symmetrical. This bottom two happen to be symmetrical. And there is a certain beauty to it, right? It's balanced, it's in harmony. There's no like extra piece or short piece. It's balanced over there. And eventually this character, okay, the sheep is a good symbol as it's a sacrifice to the god, the best kind of animal, right? I mean, for the East and West both, sheep is portrayed as a good, kind animal that's, it used like good enough to be used as an offering to God. And I mean, God in the Eastern concept of God, right? Different from Christianity's God. And the sheep, good symbol over there, and then talking, the words. So the words used, this talking is balanced, and also is with this, this innocence and this almost like a perfect offering, like a harmless animal under that. That simply means your words are kind, like you're treating people kindly by talking kindly. So this is the importance, like Chinese tie with speaking, like the words are powerful. It was recognized back then. And if you show your kindness, it's shown through how you speak. Okay, so that's shen. And eventually it becomes more abstract, right? It becomes like not only what you say, but what you do as well, your deeds. So there could be like your doing as kindness. Okay, wu means dance, and this is the ancient type of dance. I mean, we can only imagine. So this looks like a person, right? With two arms horizontally spanning out and holding pretty complicated stack of things. And we can only imagine that kind of dancer used kind of props or costumes back then in their dance. And okay, these are actually feet symbol. And this almost looks like to me standing on their toes. So picture ballet. How can Chinese visualize dance also with 2 feet kind of on their tiptoes, right? Standing straight tall. So it's a very trained and disciplined way of standing. And that's the dancer's common position. So in the East and ballet have similar concept over there. So 长袖善舞 talks about somebody have long sleeves and they're very good at dancing. I visualize that for you. This from the movie, a scene from the movie by Ziyi Zhang. You probably know her. She was also in a Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon movie. And she started her career as a dancer, trained as a dancer. And I guess that's a common transition of career, right? From dancing to acting. And this moment of spreading her wingspan and have the extension of that wingspan of this long, flowy sleeves through the air. It's like a very powerful projection of the sleeve into the space and really kind of take out, 10 times of her human figure space. Like with the sleeve, it's really far reaching, right? Actually, there were legends of the dances from the past because it's as a performance art, and before the recording device was invented, right, we cannot exactly see how people dance or make music back then. We can only imagine through some, cave paintings, things like that. But legend has it, like somebody captured it in books, right? We can only imagine, described in a book, like how ancient people dance. And there were this, use of long sleeves as an expressive tool to kind of add a drama, right? Or more impressive. Imagine if your audience, the audience back then is generally somebody in higher power, right? Who can afford to have a dancer perform there, have their personal theater, almost like there were no theater, like publicly, like you buy tickets for, not contemporary entertainment form. So this was either in like a big ceremony or some rich people who can afford such entertainment at home. Imagine the audience up and close, and that long span, colorful sleeve spreading out through the air is quite impressive, right? So that was one type of dance costume. And with that long sleeve, we have to use it impressively, right? So the whole school of dancing from that sleeve use, right, to be expressive through the air. So legend has it that some dancer in that form of long sleeve was highly appreciated and made a name for herself, I guess, and then have a long following, history of dancing like that. But eventually 长袖善舞 not only means a type of dance that people are, impressively master, but also it means there is a second line to this that's not captured in here, but hidden away, but mostly it's the unsaid portion that actually is the meaning of that. So the second line is 多钱善假 or 善股, I don't exactly know. Means like if you have more money, you are good at making things happen. So like you're well networked, you have more resources, and you can start a business like nobody else can, something like that. So 长袖善舞 actually used this long extended sleeve as a symbol, like a visual symbol, to say somebody is far-reaching, somebody is influential. And because they have this device of sleeve that make their dance enhanced, or they can really reach some far space and have some effect that couldn't be achieved without a long sleeve. So this eventually was captured to mean it's somebody who is influential. They can really make things happen. All right, cash into the currency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.